Last time, your file could still be ignored. Today, it starts connecting itself. Different crimes, different years, different investigators. One name, one file, one pattern. And once a pattern exists, it rarely disappears. Let's turn the next page. L4, age 34. The cars that never stayed still. Prison teaches you two things: how to survive and how other criminals got caught. You replay every mistake you've ever made: the receipts, the warehouse, the fingerprints, the witnesses. You convince yourself the problem was never the crime, it was the evidence. So this time, you build a business where the evidence is constantly moving. Cars, expensive ones, SUVs, luxury sedans, pickup trucks, anything worth disappearing. A vehicle is stolen in one state, driven across another, given forged paperwork, then quietly sold hundreds of miles away. By the time the original owner reports it, someone else already believes they legally bought it. You rarely touch the cars yourself. Someone steals them, someone else transports them. Another person handles the paperwork. A different dealership lists them for sale. Everyone knows only one piece of the operation. Nobody knows everything. You call it insurance. For months, it works. One car becomes 5, 5 become 30, 30 become more than 100. Money pours in, the network grows. You begin believing you finally built something investigators can't untangle. Then, two detectives from different states compare notes during an unrelated vehicle theft conference. One mentions forged titles, the other mentions the exact same notary stamp. Neither case seemed important by itself. Together, they become the beginning of something much larger. A federal task force is formed, not because of one stolen car, but because the crimes no longer stop at state lines. You imagine investigators chasing stolen vehicles, high-speed pursuits, roadblocks, helicopters. They do something far less exciting. They chase paperwork, vehicle identification numbers, title transfers, auction records, insurance claims, bank deposits, dealer licenses, shipping manifests, notary journals. Every document creates another line. Every line connects to another name. You can repaint a car, replace the license plate, swap the VIN sticker. But somewhere, a record of that vehicle's history still exists. And records have surprisingly good memories. Weeks become months. The task force covers an entire conference room wall with maps, colored pins, printed photographs, financial charts, phone records. Red string stretches from city to city, crossing state borders again and again. At first, it looks like chaos. Then, a pattern appears. Every shipment eventually passes through one industrial district. Every forged title traces back to the same small group of people. Every stolen vehicle moves through the same bottleneck. The investigators stop asking, "Where is the next stolen car?" Instead, they ask, "Where does every stolen car eventually have to go?" That question changes everything. Surveillance teams wait, not for hours, for weeks. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Then, on an ordinary Tuesday afternoon, a transport truck arrives. 3 luxury SUVs roll off the trailer. All 3 were reported stolen less than 72 hours earlier. That single afternoon confirms months of suspicion. The investigators don't move. Not yet. They're no longer hunting cars. They're hunting everyone connected to them. 3 weeks later, phones ring across 3 different states. Search warrants are signed. Arrest teams are briefed. Every clock is synchronized. At exactly 6 a.m., doors begin opening. Not one door, 11. Nobody has time to call anyone else. Nobody has time to destroy records. Nobody has time to disappear. The network collapses before breakfast. Miles away, inside the evidence room, your file is opened once again. The pages are no longer clipped together. They're placed inside a thick binder. Tax fraud, counterfeit goods, armed robbery, interstate vehicle trafficking. One investigator flips through every page, then quietly says, "He's evolving. Not smarter, more organized." And organized criminals rarely stay organized forever, because every new partner creates another witness. Every new shell company creates another record. Every new state creates another agency looking at the same puzzle. Rule number 4. Crossing state lines doesn't erase your trail, it multiplies the number of people following it. You lose the cars, you lose the money, you lose half your network, But you don't lose your ambition. This time, you decide to stop stealing property. You'll steal something investigators can never replace: a human life. One desperate plan, one ransom demand, one ticking clock, and for the first time, the entire investigation will be measured not in months but in hours. 5. Age 37. The clock starts ticking. Until now, every investigation has had one advantage: time. Weeks to collect evidence, months to connect the dots, years if necessary. This time, everything changes because someone else's life is now measured in minutes. You're 37. Business has failed. Your network is gone. Most of the people you trusted have either disappeared or disappeared into prison. You need money. Fast. An idea forms. Not elegant, not sophisticated, just desperate. A wealthy local business owner. Predictable routine, predictable schedule, predictable life. You spend weeks watching, learning, waiting. Every morning, 7:45, coffee, office. Every Thursday, dinner with family. Every Friday, leaves work alone. Patterns. The same thing investigators have been using against you, you now try using against someone else. Friday arrives. The parking garage is nearly empty. He unlocks his SUV. You step out, weapon drawn. 30 seconds later, he's gone. You drive to an abandoned warehouse, take his phone, make one call. $2 million, no police. Then, you hang up. You think you've started a negotiation. What you've actually started is a race. Within minutes, local officers arrive. The missing person's vehicle is secured. Family members are interviewed. Phone records are requested. Nearby businesses begin turning over security footage. The investigation doesn't grow slowly, it explodes. A command center is established. Maps cover the walls. Phones ring non-stop. Investigators rotate in shifts. Nobody plans on going home. Every hour matters, because statistically, the first 48 hours are often the most critical in locating a kidnapping victim. You imagine investigators searching everywhere: roads, forests, warehouses. Instead, they begin with something much smaller: your phone call. Background noise, echoes, traffic, electrical hums, word choice, accent, timing. A single conversation contains more clues than most people realize. The ransom instructions arrive: cash, duffel bag, downtown parking garage, midnight, come alone. You pick the location because of the crowds: hundreds of cars, dozens of exits, concrete pillars everywhere. Perfect. Until investigators count the cameras. Not one, not five, 11. Every entrance, every elevator, every payment kiosk, every vehicle entering, every vehicle leaving. You collect the money, walk away, drive off. You believe you've disappeared into traffic. You haven't. Investigators aren't following your car, they're following the chain of decisions you have to make next. Eventually, you have to stop. Eventually, you have to eat. Eventually, you have to return to the victim. Time isn't helping you anymore, it's trapping you. 32 hours after the kidnapping began, the warehouse is surrounded. Lights, commands, footsteps. The victim is found alive, shaken but alive. For investigators, that's the only outcome that matters. Later, back inside the evidence room, the binder opens again. Another divider is added. The previous crimes documented money. This one documents lives. A new page is placed inside. Subject demonstrated willingness to hold a victim for financial gain. Threat level significantly increased. The binder no longer fits neatly on the shelf. It has to be moved. Higher priority, easier access. Nobody in the room talks about the tax fraud anymore, or the counterfeit handbags, or the stolen cars. Those pages are still there, but they aren't the story anymore. The story is who you've become. Rule number 5. The moment a victim's life is at risk, the investigation stops waiting, and the clock starts hunting you instead. Prison is different this time. Longer, harder. When you finally walk out, you make a decision. No more robberies, no more victims, no more being the person investigators are actually looking for. You'll become something else, someone almost invisible. The money won't be yours, you'll simply move it, hide it, clean it, because in your mind, The safest criminal is the one standing behind everyone else. You're wrong, because sometimes the accountant is more valuable than the kingpin. And this time, investigators won't be trying to arrest one man, they'll be dismantling an entire organization. Level 6, age 40. The man nobody was supposed to notice. Power changes people. So does prison. When you're released, you don't want attention anymore. Attention got you arrested. Attention filled an entire binder with your name on it. This time, you decide you'll never be the face of another operation. You'll become the man behind the money. Dirty money has one problem: it can't be spent. Stacks of cash can't buy office buildings. They can't explain luxury cars. They can't survive a financial audit. So someone has to make that money look legitimate. That someone is now you. You create consulting firms, cleaning companies, construction businesses, small restaurants, import companies. Some exist only on paper. Some actually operate, just enough to look believable. Money enters through one company, moves to another, then another, then another. By the time it reaches its destination, it no longer looks like the profits of a criminal organization. It looks taxable, legal, clean. You aren't carrying weapons, you're carrying spreadsheets. You don't threaten people, you balance books. You don't order crimes, you organize invoices. You tell yourself you're just an accountant. For almost 2 years, it works. Millions of dollars quietly pass through businesses that never seem busy, yet somehow always seem profitable. Nobody notices. At least, that's what you believe. Across town, another investigation has been growing. Not for weeks, not for months, for years. Investigators aren't chasing one robbery or one kidnapping. They are trying to understand an entire criminal organization. Who gives the orders? Who commits the crimes? Who moves the money? Who keeps everyone paid? At first, your name never appears. Then one wire transfer connects to another. One shell company shares an accountant. One accountant shares an address. One address appears in a second investigation. Small connections, but enough of them create a map. Investigators stop asking who committed this crime. Instead, they ask who profits every single time. The answer keeps pointing back to you. Confidential informants begin talking, not because they suddenly become honest, because someone above them already has. A wiretap captures conversations. Financial analysts compare years of transactions. Phone records overlap, meeting locations repeat, travel patterns align. Individually, none of it proves much. Together, it explains everything. You still don't know you're under investigation. You continue approving transfers, signing checks, creating invoices, scheduling meetings. Every normal workday adds another page to someone else's evidence. 3 years pass. 3 years of surveillance. 3 years of financial analysis. 3 years of patient investigation. Not because investigators are slow, because they only get one chance to dismantle something this large. Thursday, 5:59 a.m. Across 2 states, phones begin vibrating. Arrest teams move into position. Search warrants are confirmed. Evidence teams stand ready. Every location waits for the exact same command. 6 a.m. Doors open simultaneously. One house, then another, then another. 12 locations, 12 arrests. One organization gone before sunrise. You never fired a gun. You never kidnapped anyone. You never stole a single car. Yet investigators considered you one of the most important people in the entire network. Because organizations can replace muscle. Replacing someone who understands where every dollar went is much harder. Later, the binder is opened again. It no longer resembles a case file. It's become a case library. Photos, financial records, interview transcripts, search warrants, surveillance logs, phone records. Hundreds of pages. A new divider slides into place. Subject identified as financial coordinator within organized criminal enterprise. Someone quietly places the binder onto a different shelf. Not because it's finished, because it keeps growing. Every crime you've committed has taught you something. How investigators think, how they gather evidence, how they follow money. So eventually, you begin believing you've learned enough to beat them. You decide the future isn't cash, it isn't paperwork, it isn't shell companies. The future is behind a keyboard. No witnesses, no fingerprints, no surveillance cameras, just code and cryptocurrency. You believe you finally found a place where investigators can't follow. You're about to discover that the internet never forgets. Rule number 6: the more people you're connected to, the more paths investigators have to reach you. He believed the internet would make him invisible. Instead, it gave investigators a trail that would never disappear. In part 3, the hunt goes global. Old evidence comes back to life, and every case from the last 20 years begins to connect. Subscribe now so you don't miss the final chapter. And if you've been enjoying this series, a like lets me know you want more investigations told from the inside. Final part coming next.